Well, definitely a free speech award. Makes all that noise. You know, it's been a long evening, so I'm just going to speak for a few minutes. I'll just try to sort of share with you the motivation, the process that sort of led to the creation of the film you just saw. But really, first, I have to take advantage of this opportunity to really express my heartfelt thank you to American Insight and to the lady who's really the driving force behind this event and behind really bringing people together under this critical notion of free speech. Thank you so much, Margaret. And well, the film talks about, as you've seen, this global crossroads that the whole of humanity is facing and treating the whole of humanity as a collective moving through a process, going through something. But it actually starts from a very personal type of crossroads that I found myself in as I was sort of working on something that I didn't even know would become this film. And it actually starts from, since I know myself, I was like grappling with these questions all the time of who or what is the reason that our world looks the way it looks, that our systems are built the way they're built, and does it have to be that way? And I just kept asking these questions all the time. What are the driving forces that shape human thought, human behavior, human interaction, social relations? And also, how does all of this, how everything that we do as humans fit within a global, comprehensive, overarching type of natural evolution? And I was thinking these questions, and I remember that everyone I asked, whether it was parents, educators, teachers, friends, they would always, the answer would be something to the effect of, well, that's the way it is. This is life. That's what you got to do. This is how things are. And, you know, follow along. And I was never, ever satisfied by that. Simple as that. And there are two things that I believe are true. One, each and every one sitting in this audience now or listening to this wherever you are, you have these questions. They have to do with something that is innate to a human being. We have the capacity to ask about our own existence and the meaning of our lives, and how can we, what does it actually take to make a better world? And number two, I'm convinced that none of you deep down are really happy with any kind of an answer that ends with, that is the way it is, this is how things are. When I was 12 years old, more or less, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. And she's fine right now. She was able to overcome the disease and she's living a healthy life. And yet, this sort of an experience, as growing up as a kid with that in the background, was really something that impacted my way of thinking, and it made me research even further and trying to really understand what's going on here. One of the things that I've learned is that cancer is really, at the end of the day, an expression of the egoistic behavior of cells within the human body when they basically consume and exploit more than they need at the expense of others and at the expense of the whole system, and they kill the entire system in the process and put themselves to death along with the system. And I think that this is sort of the direction that that human society is going on today. I think that free speech in this context is the freedom to question everything. It's not anymore, I think, to go against this or that type of leader, authority, or system or regime. I think that we're at a point in time where we have to question the very foundations that our civilization rests upon, because anything less than that today will not truly be free speech, at least in my view. I have team members all over the world working with people from every place in the world: North America, South America, Asia, Africa, Australia, Europe. And I remember in 2011, when all these social protests started happening, blazing through continents, basically spreading throughout the world, I was talking to many of my team members, sharing experiences from what exactly is going on in your country. In your country, I was back then sort of moving between New York and Israel, and so I had the opportunity to see how things felt and how they were in two different places around the globe, and I spoke to many different people. And we all, it dawned on us all of a sudden that regardless of what people were protesting about, that it doesn't matter the background, mentality, or culture, identity of these people, and what was the specific thing that they were crying about. They were all looking for and feeling something that made them feel together. For the first time, they go out of the system that inhibited them for so long, and they are just trying to connect with each other. Simply trying to feel as equal human beings, even if they didn't know each other. And then I thought, when I heard that similar impression coming from many different people all over the world, then I realized that all those questions that I kept with me all the time, that they must have to do with that key notion of human connection. Because at the end of the day, what we feel towards each other is what makes everything that we see and feel and go through and experience in our world. And I think that this is really the crossroads that every one of us is in today, every day. Are we trying to take our daily environment, and it doesn't matter, I don't care whether you're a teacher or a scientist or a musician or a filmmaker or a businessman, in every situation, as I really tried to show in the film, we are interacting with an environment and we are creating it with our participation. And if we don't fall into prejudice and presuppositions of this is how things are, that's the way it is, I can't do anything, and if we really exercise free speech, then we can all be agents of change. So if we really take this power to our hands, if we see ourselves as these healthy cells trying to work with our environment to really foster connection, to really work on a better world, I think we'll find satisfaction in that. I think that what has happened is that through these tools of media and advertising, our motivation to life, our aspirations have been reduced to this cyclical chase for material acquisitions, for symbols of status and ego and vanity and so forth. And really, now I think what is happening is that this is changing. People are beginning to realize, to awaken to the basic truth that we need each other, that we have to trust each other, that we have to appreciate each other, that we're all connected. And when people awaken to this feeling and to this new perception and motivation to life, I think it gives such a great satisfaction that is so beyond anything that our current culture celebrates, at least largely in the Western world. And I think that we can change if we look at ourselves as agents of change, and we see that crossroads every day in our daily environments. Doesn't matter who we are or where we are. Thank you very much.